Hi, yeah. Those of you who are new to HTML or Dreamweaver or web design of any kind, one of the websites I want you to look at is the W3schools website. And in this website, it's just a basic website that explains some of the main um, tags that you'll need to know in order to be successful at doing HTML or CSS and things like that. So let's briefly look at some of the examples that are here, and I'll talk about how you can use this website. The first thing is on the left side here, you'll notice there's some tutorials, and that's sort of what I want you to work with, is the tutorials on this website. Now, I know there's one that says learn HTML5, and then you're like, well, why should I learn HTML when I should just learn HTML5? Well, the HTML5 link here is basically built upon the HTML here, so you still need to understand the basic HTML here. The HTML5 that they have right here is really just a, hey, this is new in HTML5. Okay, it's basically an add-on. So the examples here, you still need to understand the tags that are under the HTML, because these are the tags you're going to be using all the time within HTML5. If that makes any sense, I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm still going to use everything I learn in here in HTML5. It's just the HTML5 that is listed here is just the new stuff in HTML5 that's a little bit different than what is here. So I don't know how to explain it any more than that. So if I click on the Learn HTML here, you'll see that it has a basic reading about what it is, what HTML is. It tells you the difference between the tags here. The first one you'll notice here is the doc type, and it will talk a little bit about what the doc type is. This kind of tells the browser which type of HTML you're using. Then all HTML starts with HTML, and then usually we have a title tag and a head tag that's in between here, which we don't have in this example right here. But then the most minimum then would be the body tag, and inside this body tag is everything that is displayed on the page. Everything that is displayed on the page. And then you're going to have to learn about all the H tags. You'll notice this one is the H1 tag. The H1 tag is the most basic kind of heading tag. That's what H stands for, is heading. And that is usually what you would put the title or the text that's on the top of your web page. Not the title, the text that's on the top of your web page would most likely be in the heading tag. And in fact, you should use the H1 for your most important text that you want to be in a search engine. And so when we start getting into search engines and how they work, we'll learn about what our tags are important to search engines. And then the P tag here is called the paragraph tag. That'll give you a good kind of a good example of a line break, or not necessarily a line break, but we call paragraph break. We'll be using something called a BR for a line break. So as you go through and you start reading these things and you start looking at the different content here, the nice thing about this website is there's one that says try yourself. And so if I click on the try yourself, it'll show you some of the content over here, and then it'll show you the example over here. So what I want you to do is look at some of the HTML that is listed on the page there, and when you say, well, I don't know what the HTML is. Well, if we close this try me here, we can go back to the introduction here, the HTML introduction. If we click on that, it'll go through and it'll explain some of the information. It'll explain what the HTML is, the body tag. It'll explain the heading tag and the paragraph tag. And it says the doc type, and it shows you this is the doc type for HTML5. And then it reads and tells you a lot of the information that is there, and then it talks about what are called tags and how tags are opening tag and a closing tag. Some will have opening tags and closing tags, and you can see them here, right here. You can also type in any HTML editor or any plain text doc that you have on your computer, or you can just use the try here. And these are nice examples on this website. Again, you can try yourself right here, and you say, okay, the heading tag is here, my first heading. Well, you can just change that and say my first web page, and then if you hit the edit me, boom, it'll put it over here. or things you should think about is maybe copying and pasting. I can copy this by highlighting the text and then hitting Control C, and then hitting the cursor below, and then hitting Control V to paste. I copy and paste most of the information, and so you need to get used to that second line of text, and so you can click that and it puts it over here. So this is a great sort of example if you wanted to learn what the different H options are. You see this is the H1, which is the biggest one. You can put in H, let's put in H3. You notice how I just changed this the 1 here to a 3, and I'd say try me, and you'll see, oh, it got smaller. So a lot of the things you can do on this page is just under the try me. So you go under the basic HTML, and it talks a little bit more about what these things are that I just talked about. Again, there's a more try me. There's a link option here. And so I know it's reading, and you need to understand these basic tags in any of the classes that I'm teaching, just so that you got a foundation of what we need to do to learn to design websites, even in Dreamweaver or in the basic web design. The understanding of all this basic HTML. In addition, you can go back and look at the HTML5. Again, the HTML5 link here is only showing you the new stuff. You still need to know what the H1 tag is, and you still need to know what the paragraph tag is. They don't explain it under this HTML5 link. This is just showing you the new things, mostly the things that they have for video and audio and the canvas and SVG and things like that. So again, on the website, I know there's an HTML5 link. You just don't need to learn that. You need to learn this and that, and then of course the basic CSS. You really need to learn that before you learn the CSS3. So you don't need to do all this the first week of school or anything like that. I wouldn't worry about the CSS at this point right now. Just learn the basics of these tags and what they do under HTML and HTML5, and try some of those, and just learn. You need to understand what the basic tags are.